I'd like to introduce Antonio de Sousa. Antonio is a plasterer by trade who seemingly without any effort offers this very powerful message. If this relatively ordinary young man can do this life thing, making something of himself and turning his life around, then why can't you? Antonio professes that life has not been easy. He has certainly had his own challenges, as many of us do, but he has tackled them head on, embraced his darkness, and shed onto it light. To Antonio's amazement, one at which he still pinches himself to this very day, surprised at any given moment that he is reminded that he has written and published a book, The Lockdown on Self-Love. Antonio inspires to be a symbol of faith to anyone that feels like they're merely existing and can't find any meaning or point into life. Don't take your life for granted, and neither let any of it be in vain. Antonio's presentation to us today, How Personal Development Saved My Life. Welcome, Antonio.
Thank you very much, Elonia, for the description. Yeah, I would like to emphasize on that. So, yeah, my name is Antonio. I'm 37 years old. I was born in South Africa. I was there till the age of 7 before me and my family moved back to Madeira, our native country. That's in a little island besides Portugal. We were there for like 6, 7 years before moving here to the UK. And I've since been here for like about 25 years. I'm a plasterer by trade, and I'm also a single father to 2 children. Interesting fact about me, I've only ever been in 2 serious long-term relationships. I've done really bad at school, just obviously just trying to be the class clown, trying to fit in, trying to make friends because I moved around a lot. I ended up doing really bad at college. And before you know it, I very much had a victim mentality. My belief about myself was that I was a loser, that I was a nobody. I just felt like my cards had already been dealt, and that was my fate. I was just going, for a very long time since college, I was just going from job to job. I've worked as a fishmonger. I've worked as in a sausage factory. I've been from a warehouse to warehouse, and that really just brought me down about myself. Like my parents were devastated as it was because I didn't listen. I knew better, and I got involved with the wrong crowd and so on and so forth. And before you know it, I fell in love, and she wasn't. You might say, lucky, wasn't particularly healthy. We ended up having a child together, and what ended up leading from that, from obviously me having toxic attributes and herself as well, was us breaking up. But when I left her, I had no idea that I was actually leaving my son as well. And she ended up getting involved with another fella. And before matters of the heart ain't easy. And especially then having a child that was kind of used against me to hurt my own feelings, and kind of put me in line. So, yeah, had its consequences, and one of that was to form a drug habit. I came across Class A, and yeah, for 10 years I was using drugs for every opportunity that I got. If I could have got away with it, I would have done it every day. Look, cut a long story short, in 2020. We all had an opportunity to pause from life. And I was really blessed with this opportunity. For one, I started to question myself, why did I go through another breakup? Why is she avoiding me? How come we were best friends? How come we were, I loved her so much. I thought she loved me. How could we hurt each other? How could a kid also be used as a weapon against me? And how come I'm arguing with parents? How come I got a problem? What's going on? And I took this opportunity to self-inquire, and ended up writing the book, The Lockdown on Self-Love, How to Make Suffering Work for You. Now, with such a title, you might imagine to yourself that, blimey, you've been through some stuff. And yeah, I have, ain't we all? For me personally, with everything that I mentioned, didn't help. At one point, I even ended up going to prison. But through my self-inquiry, through my desperation to wanted to understand myself, came the realization that I hated myself. And yeah, look, this was a great, this was an initiation into personal development. Personal development to me before, previous to that, seeing influences, so the likes of Tony Robbins, for example, what have you. To me, you'd see this guy with great intentions, a great attitude, you know, like, you know, look, check me out. If you do what I do and follow my advice, you'll be just as successful and as happy as I am. But my mentality was like, go away. You don't know anything about me. You don't know what I've been through. You're like, to me, you're just some silver spoon so and so. Now, by my analogy, this is what personal development is. One day we're going to take our last breath. And with our last breath, along with our last breath, we're going to die with our dreams, our aspirations, and all our regrets. Now, imagine taking your last breath. You arrive at heaven. And all of a sudden, from the heavens comes God. And God is like, hello, Antonio, for example. I'm like, hello. Oh, And he's like, hi, Antonio. I want you to meet someone. He takes you to meet this someone. And this someone is you. And God says to you, this is who I made you to be in my image. This was always who you were supposed to be before all the regrets and before the disbelief and before all the excuses and before all the comparing and before, you not giving yourself this chance in life before you took life for granted. Now imagine like you had to spend eternity with this version of you. We've all been through our own hell, but I imagine that would be hell all the same to just be with this spitting image of you. That's the more successful version of you, the happier version of you, the healthier version of you, the one that loved that lived a full life. So, yeah, this is what personal development offered to me. This new awareness, being conscious, having the realization that I was taking myself for granted, that I saw no self-worth, that I wasn't really taking care of myself, that I validated myself through the eyes of others. The biggest awareness really was that the most important relationship there will ever be and is the one with yourself. And it's interesting considering I've only ever been in two serious long-term relationships really. And through all the heartbreak and so on and so forth, that was the awareness that came from it. Because obviously I was going through a lot of heartache. And through that awareness was like, wow, I take myself to bed. How come I don't give myself a kiss, How come I don't say to myself, good night, Antonia, before I go to sleep? How come I'm not waking up in the morning either? Imagine, there's one or two things I want you to imagine here. First of all is imagine you have children. And if you were to hear someone, a stranger, speak to your child, the way you speak to yourself, you'd want to give a morale smack. Like, how dare you speak to my child like that? But imagine as well waking up next to your partner every morning and she doesn't, or he doesn't pay you any mind, doesn't say hello, beautiful, doesn't kiss you. How would you feel? You'd feel like you're not wanted, like you're not valued, like you're not appreciated. So that was my awareness as well. How come I'm not treating myself like that? How come I'm not waking up in the morning, kiss my hand? Hello, beautiful. Have the best day ever, you absolute legend. So yeah, this basically offered me the opportunity, and I highlighted 2020 through desperation, really, from almost taking my life, that I had to do something about it. And it's interesting what I came to find out, though, even though I had children, that wasn't meaning and purpose enough. And that's what we all need for ourselves, our meaning and purpose, our reason for waking up in the morning. It's important. It's important to look after yourself, to respect yourself, to give yourself the things that you desire, that you need, rather than, and that's my whole point and my understanding so far as how would you like another to treat you? And are you treating yourself the same? And, You know, it's very much on the same principle. You can't expect anyone else to take care of you, love you, or be your own best friend, or be your friend, and to be authentic with you, to be transparent, to not lie, to not judge you. If you're doing that to yourself, if you're not doing that to yourself. So yeah, just bear in mind that the most important project you will ever work on is yourself, and that the most important relationship you will ever work on is yourself. And you know, treat yourself like the queen and king that you are, and to give yourself the benefit of the doubt. And also, something else I want to share is for a long time I had a really well, previous to becoming an author, one of which I would have never in a million years ever thought possible. I'm a plasterer by trade, and I thought to myself, I had already led myself to believe I was going to be a plasterer for the rest of my life. You know, I'm 37 years old, and let's say that I maybe got another 37 years to go. Now, how come I wasn't giving myself opportunity? You know, it was like from being young up until now, like it's had a compound effect of all you know, my associations, my attention, my beliefs, and so on and so forth. Like everything's had a compound effect to where I am today. So just having more awareness and being laser focused to who do I want to be? Who do I want to become? What's it take to be that version? What does that version of you do? And pretty much just you know, giving yourself the opportunity for once to just kind of brainstorm what that looks like. And yeah, the importance of not distracting yourself. In a world full of distractions, you can be distracted by a million things. Be distracted by yourself. You know, just sit with yourself and ask you know, the big questions in life. What makes me happy? uh, what would I look like as a successful individual? What would I look like as a healthier individual? And how would I look like as a more fulfilled individual? Ask those questions, and yeah, give yourself every benefit of the doubt. Go for it. That's how I'd like to end it. Thanks for watching.
Antonio de Sousa, you might be plasterer by trade, but I'm telling you right now, you are a great leader, because whatever you share and you speak your truth, you lead by example. And that's the most important thing. You've been through a lot, and when you teach and you inspire others, you don't do that from books. You are not doing that from books, but from experience. And kudos to that. So just be proud of yourself, be proud of where you are right now, and just imagine where you still can be, because the longer it's go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. So thank you for sharing your message. Thank you for the Lockdown and Self-Love book. It's a really powerful book. And yeah, I'm proud of you though.
Oh my gosh, there's so much I would love to say, but thank you for that powerful, powerful message and that powerful story. We see you.